everyone, and welcome back to the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, I'm your host, and I'm also the author of the Positively Disney book series. And I've got a little bit of a surprise for you later on tonight, but I'm very glad to be back. Had a wonderful vacation at Christmas, and I still can't believe we're still in January because I just got back from Walt Disney World on the 1st of January, and it seems like so long ago. But anyways, this show is created for you to share a magical moment or a memory or a Disney experience. And the number to call is 844-483-4763. You know, it has been definitely every time I get to go to the parks, it has been a different experience. And I'm sure that goes for the rest of you as well. But something that we did this year as well at Christmas is we surprised the kids with a little cruise. And any of you that have cruised on the Disney Cruise Line, I'm sure you can believe that you almost forget how much you love it until you haven't been on it for a few years and go back on. And we had an absolutely great time. We were on the Dream just for a quick cruise, and it was rather interesting because we actually left our home on Christmas Day, which that's the first time I've ever traveled on Christmas Day, and we got to the cruise ship early on the 26th, the morning of the 26th. And it was still decorated for Christmas. When I talked to them, they weren't sure if it was going to be decorated, and it was. And it was absolutely fantastic. And I did have a show earlier in last fall with people talking about their different cruise experiences with the themes of the cruises. And I'll tell you, it was pretty special to be on the one that was decorated for Christmas. Something that our family, well, 4 out of the 5 of us ended up doing, which was really kind of fun too, is we ran the 5K on Disney's Island Castaway Cay. Now, I hadn't been on a treadmill for years and years, and last summer Disney offered the Disney Shorts, where you by the honor system basically would run a 5K in June, one in July, and one in August. And what happened is I kind of have a little bit of a competitive spirit. So I ended up running several in the summer, then took a couple months off because I was frantically trying to finish writing a book. And after 2 months, hadn't been on anything, but I thought, all right, I'm still going to give it a go. I really wanted the medal, well, the medallion anyways from Castaway Cay. And so we went out, and oh my word, it was the coolest experience. It was like my first 5K for real, like not just on the treadmill or whatever. And my youngest actually, I think he came in third, and he would have probably got second, but he ended up going the wrong, turned down, kind of doing a little dipsy-do around the circle. And the guy that came in first was a regular Ironman guy, but it was just lovely. And my hubby walked quickly with me if I needed to walk, or we jog, and we kept going. And I'm proud to say I did a 12.5 mile, but my last couple of times on the treadmill recently is definitely not that. So I've got a lot of work to do to get back into it. Anyways, you guys, as I said, this show is for you guys to share a magical moment or memory with me. And I have to tell you, I experienced 3 different magical moments on the trip that I really have to tell you about. So the first part of our trip at Disney was the cruise, the 3-night cruise, and then we went to Walt Disney World. And as the author of the books, I interview people all over the world for their stories, and it's my goal to meet everyone in person. I'm kind of going through it a little slow, but nevertheless, there was a family there, and their story, all the stories are so dear to my heart. And these people were actually going to be in Epcot on New Year's Eve the same time we were. So that was going to be kind of easy to meet up with them. At any rate, the fellow ended up in the hospital with pneumonia. And I felt so bad because I thought of all the luck. If anybody has been sick while on vacation, it's not fun, and especially at Walt Disney World. And I said to my husband, I said, well, I said, if we can't meet them in Epcot, then we will just stop by the hospital and see him. And that was so amazing. I know that he was really touched by my visit, and I really had to lighten it up because we both would have ended up in tears. But it was so incredible, and we sat and chatted for about 45 minutes or an hour, I think, while my family went to Starbucks. Now, this family, their story is in the second Positively Disney book, and their story is titled A Little Help from Her Friends. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is really a really powerful story of someone coming through their cancer treatments and doing very well. So at any rate, he has a special jean jacket that he has all the characters sign, even characters that you don't see out that sign or that don't even sign. He had their signatures. And before I left, he asked me, me to sign his jacket. And I'll tell you, it chokes me up just to think about it because I thought, wow, to be asked to do that was an honor for me, just as it was an honor for him. And so often the magic goes both ways, those that are giving it and those that are receiving it. So funnily enough, when I went out to the parking lot to leave to meet up with my family, I ran into his family because their van, I'm sure you've seen it around, it's got all these Disney stickers all over it and you cannot miss it. It's just covered. And I was talking to the children a little bit, and unfortunately I had missed their mom, Cheryl. And so at any rate, the rest of the family was going to go in Epcot, and I said, I cannot miss seeing, Cheryl after visiting with Joe. And this is where the other magical moment happened that it was just I just shake my head at it because I don't expect anything or expect anything to happen. And sometimes these things happen, as you all know. And anyways, I have it right here. And when I met up with the rest of the family, they gave me this, and I'm hoping that you can all see it. And on the back of it, it says, for performing above and beyond the call of duty, I would like to award you the highest honor I can bestow, the Ellie Badge. Thank you for helping to make our vacation extra special, the Biazzo family, December 2017. I will tell you, that made my vacation extra special because, again, I don't expect anything. And it was just a really, really nice gesture. Something else that I will share with you that was kind of a neat, magical moment happened on the ship. And we hadn't been on the Disney cruise for about 3 years. And we had bought the cooler bag, and by that time it had kind of disintegrated a little bit. And I wanted a cooler bag. So I'm like, when I got off the ship to run the 5K, there's all these beautiful cooler bags all set up with bottles of water that they sell you on the island. I'm like, oh, great. I'll swing by and get one because I wasn't going to run with one. I wouldn't even have known where to put it. And I got back from my run and they were all sold out. I couldn't believe it. I was so heartbroken. And they said, oh, we don't have any. I thought, well, I'll go to guest services and try to see if they had any. And unfortunately, they didn't have any cooler bags available at all. So I went up to my room. My daughter and I were just doing some things while my sons and my husband were out doing something else. And I noticed there was a message. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I get kind of excited when there's a message on my Disney vacation. I never know who's going to be at the other end. Well, here it was, the person from guest services. And she said, we found some bags. I really apologize. Can you come down? Well, my daughter and I, we hightailed it down to the front. And she showed me that they actually had two. They had a Star Wars cooler bag with Disney Cruise Line on it, and they had a Frozen one. And I knew that we were going to be using it mostly for my son's for Irish dancing and that. And I thought, well, I think we'll just kind of not do the Frozen one, although I love Frozen to bits. And I got the Star Wars one. So after that, we went a little bit, did some shopping, went back up to our stateroom, and I was shocked because there on the bed was this massive Disney Cruise Line bag, cellophane bag, with two huge bags of family-sized popcorn and three Rice Krispie Mickey bars that were chocolate dipped. And a beautiful note from the cast member apologizing for sending me sort of on this little wild goose chase and thanking us for sailing. And I'll tell you, it was like, that made my day. It was just, I mean, I knew that I would eventually be on another cruise, and I thought, well, I could always get another cooler bag. But gosh, they found a cooler bag and we got treats. So we ended up enjoying those treats at the different movies that we went on that I'll tell you about in a moment. And I just want to say hi to Duncan. Yes, I think the grape soda pin and grape soda period is cool as well. Hi to Todd and Mike and Stephen that have joined me. At any rate, I was not privy to see The Last Jedi when it first came out. I know everybody had tickets and things like that for it, but it was just crazy busy in our lives just before Christmas. And so never had a chance to go to it. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't go to Disney movies unless my whole family is together. So the one that we did get to see, of course, everybody knows how good that movie is by now, is Coco. And on the ships, they have the movies that are in the theaters. And they had The Last Jedi and they had Thor. And it was so sweet just to be able to go to the theater and eat our popcorn and have our snacks on the Disney ship. And the last day, they had Coco for several different showings, and we got there a little too late. I should have been there probably half an hour or 45 minutes ahead of time. It was packed. There was just people sitting on the steps, the seats, because the theaters aren't massive, of course, on the ship, but it was really neat. But another thing I got to see, which I love, Beauty and the Beast. I love the music. I love the story. I mean, well, I love all the princess stories, but I really love that one. And while we were on the ship, they actually, I think it was, now I'm going to talk to my voice beside me because there is somebody else in the room with me. But was it the first show of that? That was a new show that they were presenting, right?
The ship that we were on, that was the, I guess, matinee for the show. So we were like the first group to see it.
Okay, so that is my voice in the room, and so it was the first presentations of the show Beauty and the Beast on the ship. I don't know where they store those props. I have no idea, but it was incredible. So if you guys are on the ships, make sure you see those shows because they are fabulous. Anyways, the number to call, if you want to call in, 844-483-4763.
And we actually have a question from Creative Guy TV on Twitch. He asks you, did you like the live action movies for Disney?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Love the live action movies. And if you are referring to Thor, yes, it was great. Any kind of
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, any kind of stage show, phenomenal. All family friendly, by the way. Every person in your family would appreciate them. So yes, thanks for the question, by the way. Yeah, you can, if you're too shy to call on the show, you can always ask me a question. So one thing I wanted to share with you, I don't know if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph. I think I saw the first one, but something about Wreck-It Ralph, of course, is the big candy land. And something that they've done on the Dream, and they're doing it on the Fantasy, and I'll tell you why I know this. They are creating, they're getting rid of the arcade, which I'm kind of grateful for, because I didn't, I just don't like my kids in an arcade situation anyways when you're on a cruise ship, a Disney cruise ship, I mean, because there's so many other things you can do. But anyways, they converted the arcade area into a Wreck-It Ralph sweet shop, and it was so cool. It was just really, really, really cool. And something, they had like different little characters in there, all kinds of candy goodies and stuff like that. But you know what? All the cupcakes and that they had, like their baked goods, was actually cheaper than in the parks. And they probably figured that they could give us a discount because we're paying for the trip anyways. But it was really fun. And I met a fantastic cast member in there whose story is going to be in the fourth book. And he actually just went on to the Fantasy to open up the other sweet shop, the new sweet shop. So definitely, you guys, if you're on the ship, check out the sweet shop, because it's really fun and some good stuff in there too, actually. Well, I wanted to tell you about something that we have experienced in Animal Kingdom. And I know a lot of people seem to not consider Animal Kingdom as a big stop. Well, now maybe they're changing their mind a little bit about it because it's got Pandora, right? The land of the Avatar land. But at Animal Kingdom, you could have magical moments there too. And we had one, and this actually happened last summer, and I've got to tell you about it because it was the coolest thing. And then I will tell you about another one that I just heard from somebody, which would have been really cool as well. So some of you have been on that safari ride, and if some of you haven't, it's actually like a big truck here, about, I don't know, 25 people in it, and you're going on a safari, and it's actually real animals on in the Serengeti that are there, and some of them can kind of come right up to you, like the ostrich, was it the ostrich or ostrich? Giraffes are around, that kind of thing. Of course, the predators have some, crevices and different things, types of fencing to keep them at bay. But anyways, we were going along, and sometimes, things happen, and an attraction ride either breaks down or stops for a few minutes. Well, our safari truck stopped right beside the lions. And it wasn't only us that stopped. We were backed up about 3 or 4 deep. And what had happened is probably the inaugural ride, I don't know, of a cast member, and he or she went off the beaten path and went off the wrong path. At any rate, it was the coolest thing, because we were stuck there for I'd say about 15, 20 minutes or so, because whoever it was that went off the track had to get back on the track. And I'm sure that was a bit of a chore. Anyways, the lion started barking or something like that, kind of letting us know that he knew we were there. It was unbelievable. He didn't just stop at that. He got up, he walked around a little bit, and he continued kind of doing his woofing, barking thing. Definitely not meowing, that's for sure. It was so cool. That could not have been planned any better for us. It was just one of those moments that, I mean, where else am I going to see a lion in real life making those kinds of gestures and noises? Nowhere, because I don't think I'm planning on going to Africa. But anyways, it was so cool. I was just speaking with somebody who's actually overseas, loves Walt Disney World as well. And he said that he and his friend were on the safari one time when it was just pounding rain. You know how Florida gets those rains that just pound you for about 20, 25 minutes and then they're gone. Well, this is what happened while they were on the safari. And he said it was like the first scene out of The Lion King, where all the animals are just running for shelter. He said it was the neatest thing. And I thought, yeah, that would have been really neat to see. And I don't know if any of you know this, but all the animals in Animal Kingdom are trained to seek shelter in certain situations. They're also trained to come when they need to have a checkup or something along that line. So there's different whistles that will let them know what they need to do, because if there's ever a situation where they needed to get the animals in, like a horrific storm or whatever, there's a certain whistle blow. There's also a certain whistle blow for supper, dinner time, and then another whistle that the animals will listen to when there is when they need some medical attention and that. And it makes sense, because how in the world would you ever get all those animals in? And they do bring the animals in at night. Actually, they do keep them protected and bring them all in at night, which I think that would be the coolest behind the scenes tour ever. I know that there are some tours on the safari. I did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, and there's some really neat kind of behind the scenes tours. But I think if Disney ever had a tour like that, I'd be down for it. I would scoop the poop or whatever they had to do if I had to go on it, but it would just be like the coolest thing. Again, if anybody wants to call in, 844-483-4763, and I'll say hi to a fellow podcaster. Chris Salata has just joined. Thanks for joining, Chris. Chris, I wanted to tell you I did enjoy your post of your interactions with the citizens of Hollywood. The citizens of Hollywood are a group of character actors, really fun group of folks in Hollywood Studios. And I actually, when we had gone to Hollywood Studios at Christmas this past time, I didn't understand quite what was going on, but they were all sitting down and they were all eating pies. They were it was really, really neat. They were doing a kind of a memorial for a friend of theirs that they had lost, and they were doing it with a pie. By the way, I recognize, some names up there on Facebook, but I also want to address my Twitch TV viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely, and if you have any questions for me, or if you want to call in, please do so, because I do live stream both on Twitch TV and on Facebook. So I don't know about you guys, but it has been pouring rain in Seattle. It's been snowing in other parts of the world. But I'll tell you, the arts festival that is being held at Epcot till the 19th of February looks absolutely fabulous. And a couple of friends are there that are really good friends of mine. Larry Dotson and Kevin John are both friends of ours, and they do absolutely wonderful work. So if you ever have a chance to get to Epcot during the Arts Festival, it's their second annual actually, and I hope to join them next year. I think it would be really fun to see artists at work and that. It would be really cool if they had something for the literary arts as well, but nobody's really going to be writing anything while people are mingling around. But it would just be kind of fun to join in with those guys. At any rate, I wanted to share one last thing with you that was so exciting for me. And I had mentioned it earlier that I was busy over just before Christmas trying to finish one of my books. And I can't believe it, but the author copy came in today, and I've got to show you this because I'm so excited. And it's the Positively Dizzy, the More Heartwarming Stories, the romance edition. And this has I'm going to show you the back because you guys are watching. I'm going to show you the back because this was another magic moment that happened at Disney. And every book has a different author photo. And I don't know if you can see it that well. I'm hoping you can maybe see it. But there is moi with Belle and the Beast. And I'll tell you, that was an incredible moment for me and my family when we got to be seated, the best seats in the house for Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios. And then we got a back lot, well, backyard, back behind the scenes meet and greet with Belle and the Beast. I really, really wanted to have them on there because I didn't want just me and a princess for a theme for a romance edition of the books, and so Belle and the Beast were really perfect for it. There are several stories in there, engagements to do with Belle and the Beast, and some Belle and Beast themed weddings and things like that. Anyways, I just got my author copy today, and I'm going to just do a quick check, and then it's going to be released. If all is well, I'll release it February 1st. But I'm so excited. It's 29 stories of 29 couples brought together through Disney in the name of love. And it's like, how does that happen? It's really cool. It's amazing actually how people meet because of Disney and fall in love from even across the country. It was just absolutely amazing. So anyways, that's what came in today, and I thought it was perfect timing actually to introduce you to the book. And Duncan said, "Is The Ugly Dachshund your favorite movie?" You know what, Duncan? It has got to be one of my favorite of the back in that day. I loved Herbie the Love Bug too, the original and stuff as well. But I love The Ugly Dachshund because I actually have 3 miniature dachshunds, and the little red dachshunds you see in the poster. I have one of those, except his name is Morty, and he looks he looks just like those guys. And we named him Morty because Mickey Mouse actually has a nephew named Morty. So it was just perfect. But yeah, love The Ugly Dachshund. And Suzanne Plachette and Dean Jones are in it. So guys, I'm sure many people have seen it. And actually that is an original poster. We collect different Disney things. And that is an original poster I got as a gift one time. Hi, Jane Elizabeth. She's on here. I can't wait to read it. Interestingly, Jane Elizabeth, who's just joined us now, her story is in the book, and I can't wait for you to read it either, Jane. So The Ugly Dachshund is in the back. Some of you may have noticed a couple of other things that I added up there from the last podcast. There's Donald Duck. By the way, if anybody doesn't know yet, Donald Duck's kind of my guy. Although I've always loved Mickey. That goes without saying. But I did recently fall in love with Goofy as well. At any rate, Donald Duck is my guy. And for Christmas, I got some pieces of art, some really neat pieces of art. And the collage back there, I believe it's from an artist over in Europe. That's what my husband was telling me. And I haven't really looked him up any further. And the other thing in the middle is another piece of art with Donald snoozing in a hammock. And I would like to hang it, but I also don't want to lose it on the camera because it's so cute. Something else, another piece of art that I got was a signed copy of Donald Duck and Walt together, and it was signed by the actor who voiced the original voice actor of Donald Duck. And I'm not sure if I know. I'll have to show you next week because I've got it. I don't have it up yet. I'll have to show you guys next week, but I really love it. And I'll share another magical moment that I had just before Christmas, which also included some artwork as well. At any rate, 844-483-4763 is the number to call if you'd like. And if you are wanting to email me at any time with a story to share or something that you want to ask me, you can always contact me through my website, positivelydisney.com, or my email is Kimberly with an Ley at positivelydisney.com. And oh my goodness, I have to say hi to my hubby, Jacques. Most of you guys know him. He will be online and he'll be interacting with you. He actually is in Houston, Texas this week, and he was all set to go today at noon. And I got a call from him. Like he always tells me, that he's shutting his phone off and that. And about 45 minutes or an hour later, I got this phone call. I thought, what the heck? Where are you? And there's mechanical problems on the plane. So they all had to disembark. And so he had a late start. So I can see that he arrived safe and sound in Houston, and wish he didn't have to go. But at any rate, he is such a great guy. And very grateful for him. He is the one that introduced me to Walt Disney World. And we are actually going to be celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary on the cruise ship. Oh, I have a call. Hello, welcome to the show.
No.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Kim.
I never know if it's going to be you or Sheila, but
Oh, I know. Hey, listen, I just wanted to call and say welcome back.
Yeah.
It's a new year, and we're glad to have you on.
Thank you. I'm so excited. There's so many things going on, and I just really wanted. I thought, gosh, I've delayed this a little bit too long, and have to get on here, right tonight, and get on with it. Even though my hubby's not around, but
Oh, I know.
yeah. So when are you heading back to the parks?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the way things have been, it's just been so hectic.
Yeah.
I have not been to Walt Disney World, neither Sheila nor I, in over a year. Which is
withdrawal.
Yeah, big time. Now, I did make it to the D23 Expo in July.
Cool.
But and I was really hoping to go to Paris during Christmas and the 25th, but unfortunately, the way things work out, it just didn't happen.
Oh wow, that's kind of far to go.
That one's still. Yeah, that one's still on the books, but okay. I'll be honest right now, the first chance that Sheila and I get, we are ready to head back down to Walt Disney World. just for relaxation, R&R, even though I know it doesn't sound like that's not what you're supposed to do when you go to a park.
You can pace yourself once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So, I hope that we are there at the same time, because I have to say hello to you guys in person.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope so. I will let you know that, and anybody else that's listening, I actually will be at Walt Disney World the first week and a few days in July, and people are going to be saying, why are you in July? But we actually have a big dance competition there, so if I have to be there, I'm going to the parks, and then
absolutely,
and then our anniversary is the 14th of August, and I don't know, Jane was asking which ship. We've booked the Dream, but we're going to be on the Dream for that 25th, but that would be mid-August. And then after the ship, we've got to visit the parks, of course, because we're annual pass holders, and I don't know if you've ever been an annual pass holder, but I was curious to know what the difference in pricing was between renewing it before it expires, and you're given like a 30-day grace period, right? Holy Toledo. Mm-hmm. It's like almost $200 a ticket for us, like to renew early.
It's like 22 to 25%.
Yeah.
That you save on that.
Oh, I know.
When you renew.
I know. Yeah. That's $1,000 for our family.
That's great.
Oh, so I'm going to make sure that, we are going to be definitely renewing those before before it's time. So, so we'll talk, personally, privately
Oh yeah,
to determine that, but anyways, what do
absolutely.
you think, Stephen? What is it that you miss the most about the parks? I'm curious to know.
The same thing that anyone that ever goes, what they miss. I miss the magic.
Yeah.
I miss that soul fulfilling piece that misses in my life that
Yeah.
that I just need to have fulfilled. With the way things go in our everyday life. We need. I mean, it's so funny. I'm a little bit different than most people. I don't look at going to Disney as a vacation. For me, it's just it's something that's totally different.
Oh.
It's just a part of fulfilling something that is empty, and I guess it is kind of a vacation. But as far as relaxing and anything like that, no, it doesn't
No.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just something that fills a part of my life that I need filled, and then I can get back to work and work, so I can go back again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a vicious cycle, but I love it.
I know. I really feel that way too, that it just allows you to just forget everything for a while. What a nice break. It's when we were kids, we didn't have to worry about anything, right? And
Right.
and wow, and it gives us that opportunity again to just like park it at the gate and just go. And I think that's what so many people need. They need to get in touch with their childhood, no worries type of thing, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I have a friend actually who's a priest. You probably know him as well, but he goes to the parks to recharge, like, and he loves
Sure.
he loves to go on his own. He does go with other people as well, but I haven't been to a park by myself before. I don't know if I'm not
You
planning
should.
on doing that. I should. I should. Oh.
You should. I
Well,
have done many, many, many solos.
really?
And as much as I love going with my wife, as much as I love going with kids, grandkids, and everything else, there is and you've got to get over that first experience. But there is nothing. It's great. And you can concentrate on you. You can concentrate on what you want to see, what you would like to take pictures of, what you would like to study and look at, and actually have time to look at all the stuff that the Imagineers put in there for you to see and experience in detail.
Yeah.
And there's no one sitting there going, "Oh, come on, we got to go here, we got to go there." No, it's you,
That's funny.
and you can sit and people watch. You can look at.
Oh, I find that fascinating.
Architecture.
Yeah. I'm actually.
I love doing them.
I'm doing a solo trip, but not at a park. It's actually going to be on a cruise ship, on a Disney cruise ship. And
wow.
I won't say, like, I mean, it's my own stateroom, and in other words, I'm going solo without my family, but I do have, there's going to be about 170 or 180 of us, people I've never met before. And, so that's going to be a little interesting. So I've got, another cruise booked, and it's going to Alaska in June, which is on the Wonder. That's the only ship I've never been on, is the Wonder. And and it's something that is really cool for me is that it's just like a 2-hour drive from my home to the port. And when we had first moved to Seattle, it'll be 7 years this summer, we were so excited because every time we went across the water to their extracurricular activity, we would see the cruise ship in Disney cruise ship. And I really, really regret now not jumping on that ship while we were in Seattle. I guess because I love Castaway Keys so much, but it would have been wild to take a cab or Uber it to, downtown to your city and jump on a ship. Like, how cool would that be? Not too many of us have that opportunity, Yeah. So, so I'm going to be driving up there, A few people are flying into Seattle, and we're going to just drive all together because I know my ins and outs around Vancouver and all that. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that'll be a little interesting. It'll be on my own with other people. There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So no, that sounds good. I hope to see you guys maybe this year or even early part of next year.
Yep.
But I will tell you, do you go to D23 every year?
Well,
Every second year. Every
years.
time. Every time it's out. Yeah.
Yeah. Every
Generally?
time, every 2 years, I try to make the what is it, the D23, the one that's out here on the East Coast.
Oh,
Also,
what
they
do you
usually have
tell?
one.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, they try to throw one in, which they haven't done that yet this year. Well, no, this would be this year. Sorry,
Okay.
this is 18.
Yeah.
So they'll probably do one in November
Oh,
here
I
at
think I knew that.
out in Walt Disney World. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
I'm going to go to the D23 in 2019 in Anaheim. Actually, I'm going to be a vendor there. So,
That's right.
isn't that fun? Yeah, I know. I can't wait. So there will definitely be a fifth book for that time because I'm starting on the fourth book
Yep.
this week that will be out in the summertime, and then a fifth one for sure. I don't think two will be coming out. Just the one more in 2019 before the show, anyway. So people can buy
I'm excited
five
about
book
the
box
new
set.
book too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So when you are enmeshed in the same theme, you're not too sure how it's going to go over. And
Sure.
because they're all different stories. There's courtships and engagements and weddings and anniversaries, but it's all the same theme. And so normally it takes me hours and hours to organize the stories because I don't want people crying throughout the whole book, right? Anybody that reads the books tell me they try that, the, there's a lot of waterworks happening in the eyes, but I try to ease people into it, and then comedic relief and so on and so forth. Well, this one was a little bit.
You may have to put a tissue appendix in. Just
yeah. Well, this one was different because, I wanted to have certain, I think there were 6 stories that I really worked on organizing for the beginning and 5 at the very end. And then I just kept the order that I had written them in between because it didn't really matter. But there are going to be some holy cow moments in there. And something that is really fun are all the different guests that you can have at a wedding. And another really fun thing was how people met, all because of Disney. And and some of the engagements, oh my word. And a lot of people think that a Disney wedding is extravagant. Well, there are a couple that are a little bit on the extravagant side in the book, but most of them are not. But everybody in the book, I'm not talking those $200,000 weddings, that I think they had the fairy tale wedding thing or whatever. It's just outrageous, and for me, anyways. And but these are all just regular everyday people, and that their heart, it belongs to Disney, and they have some really neat things that they've done. And so from the book, not only are people going to read the stories, but they're also going to have a lot of takeaways of ideas for weddings or vow renewals or engagement situations or anniversaries, and things that they will also discover are the different I don't go through the packages, but there's just different things that you can do. And then you don't even have to be celebrating an anniversary or an engagement or whatever. You could just be there, with your family or with your significant other, and take part in certain things too that and I really love that because I learn along with everybody else that's reading about these different things that you can do at a theme park or outside the theme park too, to Disneyize something, for lack of a better word. But
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I just have to, as I said, I just have to double check the book and make sure that everything's okay. And then I will announce when it will be released. And I'm hoping for February 1st, because I'm kind of about the whole Valentine's thing. And I want all the contributors to get their books on time as well, So, yeah.
Well, now February 1st is the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I know. I know. So I get
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Like, do I have my month straight?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, I know. Well, so when you get your author copy, that means that, I mean, it's been through all the rounds of editing. It's been through the interior setup. It's been through the cover, everything. And I just wanted to make sure the cover was what it needed to be on there properly, so you could see the ears, and make sure the photo, uploaded, everything was fine. And I think we're good to go, but I never say yes, it's made, until it's actually available, out there. But really excited, and really excited to start the fourth book, because I don't know if you guys have seen on the news recently the fellow that had worn a shirt with his phone number asking, the kidney guy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'm interviewing him Thursday. Really nice guy.
Awesome.
Really neat story. Of course, it's, there's a lot of stuff on the news, but as you know, the way I interview people, I get the real deep stuff,
Yeah.
And so, I'm really excited to interview him. And then I've got a really fun interview. I only have 3 interviews left to do for the fourth book, but on Saturday, I'm interviewing a young man from one of the ships on the cruise line, and it's been kind of a little interesting trying to figure out how to do that, because you can't exactly do that when he's sailing out on the water or whatever. Have to wait until they're in port, But so, but hey, if we don't meet in a park, I really hope you get to D23 in 2019 so we can meet then.
Oh, it's done.
Oh, it's done? Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Good.
You can't stop. Unfortunately, Sheila couldn't make it last year, but that was a mistake. She will definitely make it from now on.
Good. And I'm kind of thinking that as a vendor, I'll probably miss everything because I'll be
I know. Well, I was going to say, you need to find a doppelganger, or a twin or something that at least sit in your place.
Yeah, I know.
An audio animatronic, maybe Disney could put one
put
out
me there, or a hologram. Wouldn't that
there
be
you go?
cool?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta think of something.
You are not going to want to sit at that table the whole time.
I know, and and that there is a problem, because not a problem, but I was at a show last summer that I'll be again this summer, and it's the largest unofficial mouse meet in the Pacific Northwest, and I really had to run around the different booths and things like that before the doors even opened, and it was tricky to do, because you can't. I know my husband sat in the booth for a little bit if I needed a bathroom break or something like that, but he can't sign books for me, right? And all that, so it was a little interesting, but really loved it, and just looking forward to it all for sure. And I was asked the other day, actually, they said, "Oh, so how many books are you going to write?" And I said, they said, "Or is it endless?" I said, "Well, it's endless. I'd like to, have a dozen out, but we'll see how that all goes, because it's a lot of work."
Well, it is a lot of work, but the nice thing is your stories will never end.
Oh, I know. And I know.
They cannot end.
No, they won't. They'll never end. That's the beauty of it. And even though, some of the people that I'm interviewing, people have seen them on television, 8 months before, whatever, they see only a snippet, but to get the real meat and potatoes, they have to read the story. And, but it's really fun. It's really fun meeting up with these guys and, just getting to know their stories. It's
Sure.
everybody has a story. Everybody has more than one story, and it's just, yeah, it's just wonderful. And I tell people, and I've been actually interviewed a lot recently, and there's stuff that are coming out of magazines and that in 2018. And one thing that I keep telling people, that I feel so blessed because I get to meet wonderful, wonderful people. And it
Yeah.
inspires me, I mean, like you guys are so awesome. And for anybody listening, I wanted to just tell you that Monorail Tales is another lovely, lovely podcast. And I've got one of the
Well, thank
co-hosts,
you.
Stephen Saunders, on the line with me. So tune in, find Monorail Tales on Facebook. You'll really enjoy their
Yeah.
program. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice group. It's a
Yeah, it
great,
is.
great bunch of people.
It is.
It really is.
It's funny. I have actually, you can't really see it in the background right now, but I actually have, one of the monorails. It's not on its track or anything. And it's funny because we've had it for years and years. And it's just one of those things I wanted to put in one of my shelves. And there's a bus from, I think it was Tokyo Disney or something. My husband travels a lot, but he's never made it into the other Disney park. He's had to pass by them or go to the gift shop and bring us something back, But there's a
Yeah.
little bus there. And the other day, I thought, see if this still works. And of course, touch the button and it gives its whole spiel again, as if you're right on the monorail. And I love the monorail actually. I don't know if
Yep.
people do the monorail, but it is, one day I want to just sit on it for about an hour and just enjoy,
Sure.
sip a beverage, air conditioned,
Yes.
and just see everything. Cause I never have had that opportunity. I've just, see, if I went by myself, I'd be riding the monorail the whole time, probably.
There you go. Well, see, and the nice thing at Walt Disney World, you can do the loops from the TTC all the way to Epcot and back as many
Yeah.
times as you like, and you don't have to get off.
It has been years and years since taking the monorail to Epcot, actually, around. And,
Oh,
because
that's great.
I know, and I see, we were there for New Year's and we sort of went behind for ushering people where
Mm-hmm.
they needed to be. And, you see the monorail just like right there. And I forgot how cool that would be from that perspective. So I think I've got to put on maybe 30-minute monorail ride or something like that on my next trip,
Mm-hmm.
to check it out. But that was a little wild being at Epcot for New Year's, I'll tell you. 2 years ago, when it was the last year for the Osborne lights, which I so desperately miss. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
out there miss those, but I absolutely loved those, and it breaks my heart that they're gone, and I
I
really
know.
hope they bring them back somehow or in some way. At any rate,
I
everybody,
was there. I was
were you
there
there?
for the last showing 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
I
And
drove down.
oh,
I
did
drove
you?
down just for it.
Yeah, I know, that's
Yeah,
why we went.
actually, Mrs. Osborne was there.
Oh,
I ran
wow.
into an Imagineer, and she told me that, well, you just missed him. And I said to her, I said, hey, just do me a favor. Tell her, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
And I drove 8 hours just for it.
Wow,
So
nice.
appreciate it.
Well, we
Yeah.
we were there, and we were over New Year's, and I don't know if anybody realizes how many people are in the parks at New Year's, and you tend to only do it once, but there was between 80 and 90,000 people for fireworks at Magic Kingdom. So so this year, plans got a little bit changed a wee bit, so we ended up being at Walt Disney World over New Year's again. But I thought, oh, we'll try Epcot. It'll be maybe fewer people. Yeah, no. I can't believe I don't. Okay, so I don't do lines. I don't wait for a long
No,
time for shows. But we somehow got cordoned off in the best place ever to see fireworks at Epcot. And my husband found it. He's like, yeah, well, we are staying here. Just take a guess how many hours we waited for the fireworks. Just take a wild
Oh,
guess.
you couldn't have waited more than hour and a half?
Keep going.
3?
Keep going.
5?
4.5 hours.
Oh,
Isn't that, I know, outrageous? It's outrageous.
Nope.
And it was cold. It was cold. Even to my standards, it was cold.
That's even worse.
So we
No,
just, you know what, we bought a couple extra blankets, but it was just like, we would never, ever, ever get a place like that again. And we would take turns going and taking off and, whatever, checking things out. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And we have our RV there, so we normally camp. But that last night, we indulged ourselves for one night at the boardwalk. And I'll tell you, that was the best thing we could have done, because we just walked back to our place. And of course, the boardwalk is beautiful. We'd never stayed at it before. And I really felt so bad for all the women in the lineup to the bathroom on that main floor of the boardwalk, because I know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to my room. I'm going to my room, because I mean, that's the whole problem, when you've got so many thousands of people there that, you've got to line up for a long time sometimes. But there was like parties, there was parties everywhere, like everywhere in Epcot. They had their own kind of parties going on. And even at the boardwalk, there's this massive tree and more parties going on. And my dear hubby we went ahead and he got a couple of pizzas at that takeout window on the boardwalk there, because we were kind of hungry by the end of the night. But I'll tell you, I love the idea of walking back to my room after being in a park. Like, we have stayed at Yacht and Beach Club before, and I think
never been.
It's Epcot is one of our favorite places now. I mean, to me, it's got the best restaurants all in one section, really. There's great restaurants other places, but it just has the most great restaurants in one area, that you can choose from. And their over the counter service from the different are great. It's authentic food. It's just as good, Well, I mean, it's different than the sit down, but I'm just saying you can still get really nice over the counter food. It's not just like burgers and chicken or whatever, right? You get kind of a nice variety. So, but we are actually planning on bringing our RV back in August. So that would mean then that we would be booking places to stay there, and which is fine, because that's kind of part of it, but yeah. So,
well, bring your RV, and we have never stayed at Wilderness.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the one thing that we're planning on doing. We're doing the tent.
Oh, you're doing a tent
put
there.
Your RV next to it.
Okay, we better figure out these times and dates. But
yeah, definitely.
It's you know what? That is our favorite place to stay. It really is. If we didn't have our RV there, which we've, brought it back and forth a few times, but we're in the cabins because it's so fun. Yeah, just to take that little boat from Magic Kingdom. Oh, that's just great. I love that. And just kind of the whole campy Western thing,
Yeah, it's one of the few things we haven't done. We're not great campers.
Oh.
But it's like, we're going to do it.
Oh, you should. I know there's, I'm trying to think, there was somebody I'd interviewed, and they go every Halloween there. It's kind of their family thing. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. So there's some neat things. And at Christmas time, I mean, it's very difficult to get in. I mean, it's just by some pixie dust for sure that I got in when I did again this past Christmas. But people go there, like that's their annual thing to go there, and the lights and people will come from other resorts just to take a look at all the lights that are set up. And
sure.
And my husband's saying the cabins are really great also. Yeah. So if you if you don't, if you want to try tenting or if you don't want to tent, the cabins are great. They're great. Oh, talking about this makes me miss it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
Oh man. But you know what? There, as I said, there's a lot of people that are regulars there. And I said to them when I was booking, I said, why don't you book or build another campground? Because it's so popular. It's just so popular. And
Sure.
they would have no problem filling it up. And it would give people that, you know, uh, just want a different experience. I know it's so quiet
Yeah.
and you hear the frogs all over the place. Our kids used to go frogging when they were little. Yeah. But yeah, you would like it. We'll have to talk more off the air about that because it's yeah, we might, I don't know if we're boring anybody, but it's really, guys. And one of my favorite go-to places is the Hoop-de-Doo Music Review. I don't know. Have you ever had that opportunity to take in that dinner show?
The
Maybe not.
Hoop-de-Doo?
Yeah. It's the
No, I've not.
Western. Okay. It's all you can eat, all you can drink.
Yep.
And it is at Fort Wilderness, just at the boat launch there. It's right nearby the boat launch from over for the Magic Kingdom. It's the longest running show for
Mm-hmm.
Disney. And it's a little bit interactive, lovely, fun show. I highly recommend it. It's 2 table settings. If you don't want to use 2 table settings, I think it's the later show that's a little bit cheaper than the early
Oh,
show.
okay.
But
Yeah.
that's one of the things I say. If anybody wants a different dining experience, or if they can only do one dining experience, I always tell them to do that because I don't mean it in any way, shape, or form. When I say a restaurant, it's just a restaurant. But there's world-class restaurants, but you will not find a Hoop-de-Doo Music Review show dinner at like they do at Walt Disney World. It's just, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. But thanks so much, Stephen, for calling in. Be my caller
Well, I'm glad I could make it because I've got a friend of mine that's on the red carpet over at Black Panther right now. I'm waiting for her
Oh,
to.
nice.
Yeah, waiting for her to call in with some stuff. So,
Oh, cool.
but I was like, I've got to. Welcome back, Kim.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Say hi to Sheila for me as well, and
I sure will.
look forward to talking to you guys soon.
We will. We'll see you real soon.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
That is a show. We've gone definitely way over our time, but thank you guys again, my Twitch TV followers and all of you that have joined us. And thank you to Stephen and Lauren who called in. And I look forward to chatting with you next week and hearing some of your stories and experiences. With that, I want to say good night and have a great week, you guys. Be safe. Take care. Good night.